Chapter 25. "Johnny boy," Randy's voice echoed through the phone line. "Where you been?" John balanced the handset against his ear and switched on his apartment lights. "Just walked in the door." "It's about time. I've been calling you and calling you and calling. What do you need?" "You haven't been home. Where have you been?" "Out. It's after 8 and I've been calling and I get the point." "First, I called your work. I think it was around 3 o'clock, and you weren't there." "Yeah." He dropped his keys onto a small table. "I didn't go in today." "That's what I discovered. And I thought, you? Not at work?" "Certainly a rare occurrence. Thought I should look into it." "So are you sick?" "No." "Well, I've been worried. I mean, think of all the hours I've been calling you, and you were never there. Not at work or at home. I thought this might be serious." "I took the day off." He opened the fridge and retrieved some leftover pizza. "Really?" Randy said. "Good for you. How was it?" "Spent all day at Palos Verdes Estates." "A vacation? I'm impressed. What's there?" "I spent most of the day at their library." "Odd vacation, but okay." "And I visited a large estate, a real estate agency, and talked to a couple of locals." "Okay," Randy said slowly. "Needed to find out some things, a little research about one of my patients." "No," Randy chuckled. "You mean the patient, don't you? Diversity, John. I'm telling you, you need diversity." "I found something interesting." "So your insane idea of fun was rewarded. Great." "I didn't find what I was looking for, but I found a lead, at least a direction. Anyway, it's something your dad might be able to help me with." He sat at the dining table, pizza in hand. "Remember that fishing trip last year, when your dad filled us in about politics, including all the local stuff?" "He's always talking politics. Just needs someone to back into a corner. The man could spend hours discussing his opinions on the government and how they run things. It'd be his form of heaven. But stuck on a boat with him and politics, that would be my idea of hell." I didn't mind. It was educational. "What did my dad say about Richard Downley? Was he for or against him?" "He liked him." John took a quick bite. "Said he's been a decent mayor and has made some positive changes for Santa Barbara. But he said he thought the man had made a few errors in the last little while. Thought it might hold him back with his future goals. Apparently, he's been rather verbal about his plans to run for a spot in the Senate." "Wow, the mayor from my hometown, a senator. I wonder if he has a chance." "Yeah, I'd be interested to know that as well." "I'm visiting my parents next weekend. Maybe I'll ask my dad about it." "Yeah, do. Downley is getting his name out there. People know him, and I want to know what your dad knows about him." "On the other hand," Randy paused, "mentioning Downley to my dad could be dangerous. I'll be stuck with an earful about this guy's platform, or whatever it is he preaches." "Well, I need a favor. Do you think your dad could help me get in touch with Downley?" Randy laughed. "Just because my dad follows every move the man makes does not mean Pops actually communicates with Downley." "I know, but see what he can do." "Okay, but if you never hear from me again, you'll know my old man never stopped talking about this year's candidates. Well, remember anything you learn. Maybe it'll be helpful." "Why?" "It has to do with my patient." "Ah," Randy said. "The patient." "Yes, when the patient was 15, Richard Downley was her guardian." "Huh. I find that interesting." "I do too." The following evening, John watched the clock. The second hand slid its way around. In 10 minutes, it would be 5 o'clock. He would wait another 20 minutes to be safe. Then he could see Rebeca. With the new rotation, his freedom was limited. He followed Dr. Fisher's orders, but lacked interest in the prescribed duties and struggled to connect with the geriatric residents. Nevertheless, since he did not want to draw attention to himself, John pressed forward and quietly completed his tasks. His search was leading him somewhere, but until there were answers, he would continue to steal time. With each new piece of data, John became more certain that Rebeca was Clearcreek's prisoner, Tonight, he hoped she could give him answers and fill in the holes of a jagged puzzle. After the final minutes had passed, he approached Rebecca's room. "How was your day?" he asked. "Long," she sighed. "I don't like Dr. Milton." "Why's that?" "He's stupid." "He's a nice man. You need to give him a chance." "No, he's brain dead. He talks real slow and loud. He keeps asking, 'Do you understand me, Rebecca?' Makes me want to yell back at him. He treats me like a child. He's trying to help." "No, he's not. He's a nincompoop." John tried to hide his smirk. "You're calling your doctor names." "He's not my doctor. You're my doctor. I wish it'd go back to how it was. It's dumb. Why did they have to change things?" "Well, that's how it is. For right now, accept things for how they are." "Do I have a choice?" "And listen to him. When I come and see you, we can talk about what he said. Both our treatments will help you build your confidence for when it's time for you to leave." "That's what you keep saying to me. Keep getting ready. Keep getting ready." "You know what? Dr. Milton doesn't talk like that. At all. Give him some time." "No. Today I asked him what he was going to do to help me get out of here, and all he said was, 'When it's time.'" "Rebecca." "No, listen. He said, 'Trust me. You don't want to go out there yet. I'll be the one to let you know when you're ready.' Then he started talking to me about repressed fantasies, and that I had something pent up inside of me that I wanted to talk to him about. He said even if I didn't want to talk to him about it, that I really did want to talk to him about it. That's stupid. Then he said, 'Do you understand me, Rebecca? He's as crazy as the rest of us. I don't like him.' There's more craziness around here than most people realize." John's words had slipped out unguarded, and that was a mistake. The rage toward the hospital staff needed to be concealed. John took a deep breath and then spoke calmly. "Be patient. Things will get better soon, and in the meantime, remember working with both of us and our different methods will give you balance. It'll be good for you." "I don't care." "Stay tough. He's just testing you. This will make you stronger." "Testing me?" "Like I said before, this has to be your decision. You have to be committed to this step. So it's just his method to test how serious you are, how hard you're willing to work to get what you want. I still don't like him, and he doesn't like me." John fought against the anger this situation spurred. He needed to stay focused. "Let's have a seat." Before he sat across from her, he picked up the picture of her parents. In previous times, she controlled the details of her life, but that phase was gone. Tonight, she would have to open up the past. "I went down to your hometown," he said. "Drove by your house." "You did?" Her face broke out into a pleasant smile. "You saw the house?" "Yes, I did. The place is very large, very nice." "I miss it. I also saw some old photos of your father and mother. I read their obituaries. It was interesting. I'd like to see those." John nodded. "I also discovered that you had a connection with 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗓. Tell me about him." The smile was gone, and she gave John an angry stare. "Why do you do that?" "Do what?" "I already told you I don't want to talk about it." "About what?" "Him." "Downley?" "I don't want to talk about him." "I don't know what you're talking about." "Yes, you do. You're not making sense. We've never—" "Yes, we have." "No, Rebecca. In fact, you never— I've never. The only time you ever was about your husband." "I know. I don't want to talk about him." "What? 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗓?" John stared in disbelief. "Your husband was 𝗕𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢𝗢?" "Yes." "I thought he was your guardian." "Stop it." "Stop what?" "I don't want to talk about it." "Please, Rebecca, just answer a few questions. Give me 3 minutes." "No." Just answer me. Was he your husband or your guardian? He took care of me after my father died. So he was your guardian. Then later, he married me. How old were you when you married him? It was on my 18th birthday. I don't want to talk about this. How old was he? He's got to be at least 20 years older than you. Why do you do this? How did he become your guardian? Even though she shook her head, she answered him. He was the only close friend of my father's. So that's why he was your guardian? Did your father know he was planning to marry you? No, she said. The two of them worked out the arrangements for him to care for me if something were to happen to my father, like it did. But you married him? I don't know why He's the one who married me. But first he was your father's friend? Before he was. Before? Before what? Rebecca closed her eyes and took in a deep breath. She opened her eyes and looked at John. Not after father's death. He wasn't a friend after that. Why not? What happened? I don't know. She dug her fingernails into her forearms. Rick said he'd been robbed. From the inheritance. The inheritance? She lifted her fingers out of the flesh and studied the marks they'd left. John tapped on the table, trying to draw her attention back. Tell me about the inheritance, Rebecca. I don't know very much. Then tell me what you know. Rick thought that, as my guardian, my father would have left more to him. So he was angry? Rebecca looked at the skin on her arm. There never was a kind word said about father after that. She looked at John, then stood up, her hands folded into fists. I don't want to talk about this. Okay. We won't talk about him right now. I didn't know he was your husband. Rebecca said nothing. Instead, she took her post at the window to watch the shadows of dust cover the ground.